Let's go. Told you we were going to start early. Let's see how many people have paid attention that we are going to start early for something special. I see Critters is paying attention. What up, Critters? Northwater. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Starting just a little bit early. We have something special for you guys, as well as our special guest, which is going to be Outdoors with Tiny. Should be pretty good. Let a few people get in here. I know I started a minute early. I'm an early guy. What can I say? Appreciate you guys. If you want to get it shared out, or you don't have to share it out, you can take all the spots for yourself. Yeah, let me get Holly up here. I think she wants to talk about it a little bit, make sure everybody knows kind of the rules as to how this is going to start and how this is going to go for the waffle. You wouldn't complain? Well, it has to fill up before it gets waffled. So let's bring her up here.
Hello.
Hello. Well, I think we can start with, I know Tiny had mentioned already that he wanted a spot. So I want to make sure he gets one in there.
Okay.
But you're doing the waffle tonight, and you have one amazing bait that you're putting up. So is there certain guidelines that you want to go by?
So it's going to be that $8 a spot, 15 spots total. And then to try to keep it fair to as many people that want to enter, I was going to say one entry per person at first. If for whatever reason it doesn't make it to the start of the podcast,
Yep.
then we can go ahead and through the chat fill up, any remaining spots with doubles or triples or whatever someone wants.
Okay. Yeah. So we definitely want to get that thing filled up, and we'll do it during giveaway time. And you just kind of want people to send through CA and just put in the chat that you want in. So she'll be running it from the chat. So make sure you guys are getting with her in the chat. If you want in, it's started already. You guys can tell her right now that you want in, and then she'll verify that you sent your entry through the CA, and we'll get that thing going. Appreciate all the likes and shares, guys. Look at that. And the thing is see-through. It's transparent at the same time.
Yeah.
You got it. Special waffle for a special occasion. This is the 25th episode of the podcast. Allie and I both want a spot, and I will send you from just one account.
Okay.
So Critters grabbed two of them already. What's it for? That glide? Yes, for that glide right there. It is that's the Hinkle Junior, or is that the regular Hinkle?
The junior, the smooth one.
Yeah. So it is the Hinkle Junior. Great baits, guys. I had two of them, and as soon as I got them painted, they were gone. So, and they definitely didn't go for $8. So
You can kind of see the see-through
yes.
more there on the tail, and then back here. The skulls are not the see-through part of it.
Right.
But anywhere that the lightning is, it is see-through.
Yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We are doing a waffle. It will be for this glide. you can put in the chat that you want in and then send to the CA you see in the background. She'll verify you're in. This will go on until all 15 spots are filled up. She is asking for one entry per person until a certain point, and then you can get multiples after that. That way everybody kind of gets a shot at it. I know some people like to buy multiples, but what's up, baby? 25th episode. That's right, AI. It is the 25th episode. And the guest will be Outdoors with Tiny. How? It's kind of odd that he's the guest for the 25th episode. He runs a podcast himself, so this should be a really good one. I don't think there'll be any.
It turned out that he's a good number, the 25th.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any lack of conversation between the two of us. So,
not with Tiny.
What up, Lauren? Thank you. We already got you one, Tiny. So I knew that you wanted in, and I let her know right away. So you can send over to her CA. It's up there in the background. So I made sure we reserved you a spot, buddy.
Yep.
I wasn't sure when you were going to come in, but I knew you had already said you wanted in. Who fishing? Yep.
Yes,
$8.
$8.
She's letting everybody grab one spot right now. If it reaches 15, then everybody just gets their one spot. If it doesn't, she will let everybody know, and then you can buy or get into multiple spots.
That is $8 a spot, Dewey.
Yep. 8 a spot. 8 a spot.
8 a spot.
Strouds, what's up? I am excited for tonight. I'm ready to go. Tiny's in trouble.
All right, Lauren, Pooh, and Tui, I got you guys. If you want to just send over that CA then, or if Venmo works, that works as well.
I don't think I missed anybody. Perfect. Appreciate everybody coming in, supporting the podcast, hanging out with us. It will be a little longer one, but we definitely wanted to get this advertised a little better and make sure everybody knew about it. Who's asking if Tiny's ready? Hopefully he's ready. I know I'm ready. Appreciate it. Thank you, Spider Monkey. I hear lots of phone going off. Appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome in anybody that's new or just joining. We are doing a little waffle, and it would be $8 a spot. And there were 15 spots available. Not sure where we're at now.
We got 6 spoken for, so we got 9 left.
There you go. Did you get mine? Lauren said.
Yep. My response must came right after yours.
That lure is so cool. I got to see it right after it was done. I got getting to see it now as it's cleared. Just an amazing job. She does some good work.
Thank you. I suppose I could do this.
Spider Monkey says he'll take one.
If it'll behave with the tail. Oh, it's going to clear the tail. I was trying to take those pictures, and I kept having to move it forward and forward and forward. Tail kept coming, getting in the way. Correct, Spider Monkey.
Yep. Finally getting my beard back. It's only been a week. I missed it so.
Yeah, well, I mean, what if imagine if it was like Spider Monkey's beard and you had to do that?
Yeah, I don't know that I would ever want a big beard like that, but
It will be Last Man Standing.
last man standing on that one. I kind of like
Or
the way it
woman.
goes when you do them that way.
I know the only thing is like the name wheel. It does like the congratulation little burst, and it's like congratulations, you weren't the winner.
Congratulations, you
In this
weren't
case.
picked.
Okay, let me.
Stroud's got in there. Won't be long, Mr. Stroud's will be on here too. We got Outdoors with Tiny tonight. Calvary Custom Tackle coming up next. Stroud's right after that. And Bear will be on the 16th. So this will be the last one of this month. And then 6/2 will be Calvary. So we're moving right along, guys. Once again, I like to say this while everybody's kind of paying attention is that I try to send out messages and get people on the podcast with me. But if you are interested in being in the podcast, feel free to send me a message. Send me a message and let me know you'd be interested, and we'll get you worked into the schedule somewhere. The schedule does tend to get pretty far out there. So I will give you a date that's available, and we'll go from there. Skater! We just got that man booked in here. We're going to get to know him a little better as well. Jose says paid for my two. She must be checking everything. She'll be right back.
Yep. Okay. So then when who said that they wanted one that I don't see it is Tui. I don't know if
I do believe Tui said he wanted it in.
yeah.
And it says sent.
And then Tiny, your second payment was that for Pooh? Oh, Tui said Venmo. Okay. I got Stroud's.
Yep.
I got Spider Monkey.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. I'll mark that under Pooh's. Thank you, Tiny.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
And then gotcha, Tui.
Well, I think everybody's understanding how it goes here at 45 after. We will probably drop Holly down, and you guys can continue to talk with her in the chat.
I was just gonna see if anyone did want to get a second spot then, because we're just going to kind of go one a spot until, for initially. Yeah, if anyone wants that second spot, they're more than welcome. There are 3 left.
Oh, there you go. We'll leave her up for just a minute. See who jumps on those critters.
Okay, critters.
Get them while you can.
2 left. Okay.
Almost ready.
So then 1 left.
And Allie, I suppose.
Yep. So after Allie's, then there's just that 1 left. If anyone wanted a second spot, or anyone who hasn't gotten one wants a first spot.
So there's 1 spot left.
Yep.
1 spot, and it'll be filled up. Tui.
Okay. I got you down.
That is all underway. Don't forget, guys, we also do giveaways during the podcast. So if you didn't get in on the beginning here, there will be other chances. So all right, Holly, I will let you figure out all your paperwork and everything you got to do. I appreciate you doing that during the 25th episode for us. Just a little extra for you guys.
Yeah, well, you do a lot for us, so.
Well, I appreciate it. So I am going to drop you down into the chat. We'll see if Tiny wants to come up, if he wants to come up and just BS with me before we get started. We always start at 7, so we won't start the actual interview till 7. But Tiny, if you'd like to come up, you're more than welcome to request, and you can come up, hang out for a little while. Got 15 people in here. The likes are going up. The shares are going out. I appreciate you guys so much. There he is.
What's going on, bud?
You're not afraid to be on camera, are you? He's like, no.
No, I can do this, though. I thought it was funny what Mad Mexican did.
It was funny. It's he had been talking to me about that prior to the show, and I'm like, that it's gonna be hilarious is what it's gonna be.
Yeah. No, I did. It had me cackling.
Mr. Wilson. That's what it reminded me of. Home Improvement Wilson behind the privacy fence the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Let me go in there and see if I can get Knucklehead calm down real quick.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one, Tui. Definitely. We're going to talk a lot about Tiny and some of the stuff outside of lure making that he does. That way, if somebody doesn't know, you will after this evening. He does a lot for community and the kids as far as fishing and stuff like that, and a lot of his local stores. So we will definitely get into all of that.
Hopefully, Knucklehead will calm down in there.
So you go crazy every time somebody drives by, or?
Nah, I had to give him a bath. It's been raining here on and off for, it feels like a month. It's only been about a week and a half, but he was rank. I give him a bath, so he's in there wandering around and going crazy.
Yep, that's what ours do too.
What's going on?
We actually there used to be a koi pond out back of our house, and I took out the koi pond, and I have yet to get enough dirt to fully fill it in. Well, it fills up with that water, and there they go.
My mom has got a little, well, actually 2 in her backyard, and their lab there for whenever he was a pup, man. As soon as Jet straight out the back door, and every time he was jumping in them.
Yeah.
Finally, I was like, you got to drain them things. I said, you're going to spend more time cleaning him up. I said, than you are enjoying your backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife was, she found, of course, on TikTok, you know, she finds this pool for your backyard. It's a little, it's not little, it's a blow up pool, and it's got a couch that goes halfway around it.
Yeah.
And it's got cup holders and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm going to get one. And I was like, all right, you know, I got no problem with that. I said, but did you ever think about the fact that as soon as the dogs see it, they'll be in it?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and the first time one of their claws catches it wrong, that'll be it for that thing.
I get cracked up at Dusty, man. He as long as his little stubby legs can touch the bottom, he likes it. But man, if his little feet can't touch the bottom, he don't like nothing. He ain't got nothing to do with the water.
He's not a big swimmer, huh?
No. Now, he can swim. I mean,
Yeah.
there are times we got him out on the boat, you know, in the summer. I got a life jacket for him. I just pick him up and drop him in just that way and cool off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he knows he swims straight to the back of the boat to the ladder.
He knows how to get back on.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Dad.
That dog kills me, and all the posts that you have. You know, he's in the background doing something, or just kind of being lazy and laying there, or watching you grilling, or
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
If I'm out there on the grill, he's laying right there. That's like, well, the other day I talked to you after me and my brother got done floating.
Yep.
We come home and grilled some hamburgers and hot dogs, and I dropped a hot dog off the grill, and he didn't even chew it. I had a mess to clean up. I told my brother, I said, we'll see that one again. I said, here before too long. And it didn't settle well in his stomach, a whole hot dog. It didn't. So,
Little too quick.
yeah.
Little too quick. Our dogs do the same thing, you know, and I'm so guilty of it. I feed the dogs when I make my sandwich in the morning. You know, I make a lunch meat sandwich for work or something. They'll be in the living room sleeping. As soon as they hear that crisper drawer open up that early in the morning, boom, they're in the kitchen sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you guys want? And you can see it in their eyes. They're like, you know what we want.
Oh,
You
yeah.
give us a piece every morning. You know what we want.
You always got to pay the fry tax or lunch meat
That's
tax,
right.
whatever.
We have one that can eat anything and he's always fine. And then he's a corgi mix, but the black lab, you got to watch what you feed her, because if you don't, you'll be cleaning it up. She has a sensitive stomach.
I understand that. This is does too. And it ain't, I've never seen a particular basset hound. There's some things he won't eat. Like, I'm like, seriously? Like every basset hound I've ever known, they don't care what it is. They eat it. But
I
this
think
one,
I always thought most dogs were like that, but there are some picky ones out there,
he,
you know.
he is picky on some stuff. I live in the woods and jigs
Well.
in the woods.
He knows what he likes, right? What up, Woods?
That's all that matters. That is all that matters. If I start off in a coughing fit, I apologize in advance. I've been dealing with a head cold / man flu or whatever for a couple of days.
The man flu, huh?
Sinus infection.
I guess we'll forgive you this time.
Hopefully it'll hold off. I've done enough of it the last 3 days. Maybe it'll hold off for about an hour.
Oh man. Well, I went out to one of my favorite honey holes today after work, and that's where I've been catching most all my fish. And it looks like it snowed 2 inches overnight, all the way around that thing, just cottonwood. And I was still trying to fish it, but you know how it is. You get that cottonwood all wound up and in the eyelets, and so I didn't catch anything, but appreciate it.
That's the problem with Reba over here, close to my house. There's a golf course that backs up to it, and it seems like probably the last 4 or 5 years, the weeds and algae is just overrun now on the banks. Like you can't even hardly fish from the bank other than a few spots.
Yeah.
I think it's because all the fertilizer that's running off and from the rain and stuff from the golf course into the water.
I mean, that's very possible.
Yeah,
Very possible.
I know Pooh, if she's still in here, that's what she was like. Where can I fish at Reba? I was like the walkway. That's about it. That's summertime.
Get ugly. What's up, buddy? He said, keep the cottonwood on your side of the lake. Hey, I can't control where that stuff goes. I wish I could. Yeah, the weeds are bad. We actually, so one of our ponds that we fish, they're public, like upland reservoirs is what they are. They're water supply. One of them, they put, I don't know what they are. I don't know if they release a chemical constantly, but it's this big floating yellow square, and they have one on each end of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's to help with weed control, because that one has hardly no weeds at all, but we're not catching fish there. We go there all the time and catch fish. Not this year. It's affecting them. And then another one that we go to, they completely covered it. They put, the barriers that they put in the highway when they're doing road construction.
Yep.
They put those all the way around the thing, put 5-inch steel cables down through the water and put solar panels on the whole thing.
Huh.
And I'm like, you just took a whole fishing spot. There's only, say 6 or 8 feet in between the edge of the solar panel squares and the bank.
Yeah.
Oh, I was a little upset about that one.
Yeah. You talking about solar panels, like where I'm from, the coal industry was huge.
Yeah.
There's still a few coal mines operating, but the coal mining museum is powered by solar panels. Yeah. So like whenever the entire roof is nothing but. So I was like, that's interesting. I was like, a coal mining museum powered by solar power.
That's not even right.
Yeah. Whatever works. But yeah, I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool though. Going in there. I've not been in it in years, but there's a lot of cool little things for where I'm from like that. I mean, you can take a tour in Portal 31, which was owned by U.S. Steel and there in Lynch, but they've got animatronics from like Universal. They had people it's pretty legit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is neat. I still can't get over the fact that they have solar panels running the museum, the coal museum. That's baffling.
Yeah.
And for the most part, solar doesn't do a whole lot. It takes a lot of it. We have an area in between towns out here where it was farmland, a couple houses, and it was a good 5-mile stretch of field and a couple houses.
Oh yeah.
And they filled it. They filled it with solar panels. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of solar panels out there. And then they redone the electrical line. And it's like, from my understanding of solar power, it takes a lot of solar panels to produce a little bit of power.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it. Like,
yeah, my dad, he worked in mines, I think, 21 years, something like that. So
wow.
it's rough work. I don't expect anybody that does that kind of work.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. And there's different kinds of mines, right? But I'm talking about the ones where they're, holding up the ceiling with machines and moving along, and
That's what my dad worked on, man. I think the last 16 years he worked on Longwall. So it was right where they were, drilling, mining.
I could not do that.
Thank y'all for the gifts. I guess he didn't like it. He didn't like the idea whenever I was testing the waters about it. I mean, I've told this story before, but I mean, he was like, they used to step foot on mine property on the payroll. He's like, don't come back in this house. So
Oh,
I was like, all right, then.
he just absolutely didn't want you doing that, huh?
No, I'm glad I listened to him, though. I'm glad I listened to him.
It's there's a good reason behind it, I'm sure. I am sure there is a good reason behind it. Well, we are 1 minute from getting started. We have a full house tonight. We got 26 people in here, 11K likes, and the shares are going out. I appreciate everybody stopping in. It is 7 o'clock, and this is the Pondcast. Welcome in, everybody. We have our guest tonight, which is Outdoors with Tiny.
Appreciate you having me on again, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Don't forget, it is sponsored by Pretty Lures. Go over and check out Pretty Lures for all your bait making needs. I try and list something different every time. They offer their own brand of hooks. If you'd like to check those out, they are the Hydra Claw. And that is what I use on my lures. They are some sticky hooks. And I've been using them this year, and they're holding up great. So make sure and go over and check out Pretty Lures. They have all the blanks, all the skirts, all the Chanels, hooks, paints, helping hands, little sanding tools. I couldn't name everything if I wanted to. Make sure and get over and check them out. We will be doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you got to
I was
say.
going to say, just about every time I look on their website, they're adding new blanks too. I mean, it's
All the time. They have I just painted some of the new PL Strikers, and everybody's talking a lot about the new Checkmate. I don't know if you've checked one of those out yet.
I think I ordered one last order. I've not been in here painting. I bet I've not painted in a week and a half or better.
You've been out there fishing?
Fishing, that's it. Fishing, not catching.
Hey, he said fishing, not catching. Well, I think all of us have been out there fishing. We're all, there's 36 of us in that tournament, and it's going pretty good. There's a lot of people who still need to get on the board, but we'll see where it goes. But yes, make sure you get over and check out Pretty Lures. Also, we will do a giveaway from Pretty Lures tonight. It will be a gift code. We're going to do a random number tonight. We're not going to do the wheel. So I have a random number from Pretty Lure, and Tiny wants to do a giveaway as well tonight. So we have a random number already picked from Tiny, and we'll do it the usual way. We'll go up here to the upper right-hand corner, and we'll click on that. And make sure you guys are liking or commenting on the live to be part of the giveaway. That's the only way you get a number besides your name to be part of this giveaway. Also, don't forget to go check out my YT page. It's the Pondcast 2025. All previous episodes are posted over there. It's all up to date right now. So all previous guests are on there, and we'll get Tiny's episode up there as soon as we finish it.
If there's a way I can figure out how to download it, I'll put it over on mine too.
So let's start with a few things, because I want to talk about that as well. Okay. So let's just jump right into it here. What state are you in, buddy?
I'm in Kentucky.
You're in Kentucky. Born and raised in Kentucky.
Yes, sir. I grew up in a small town in eastern Kentucky, Lynch, Kentucky. I lived there my entire life until 2015, and then moved up to central Kentucky here in Richmond.
Never had a want to move anywhere else. You just like being right there.
Well, I wouldn't say a want. There's it's kind of one of those things. I really love the state of Kentucky. I could see myself moving somewhere else, but I've never really ever said, I don't like it here. I don't want to pack up and go. It was very odd whenever I first moved, because I grew up in a town that, very small. The little city that I grew up in, we didn't even have a stoplight in it.
Yep.
I think within the Tri-City area, which is Lynch, Benham, and Cumberland, I think there's two traffic lights between all three cities.
But that's where you want to be. That's where everybody waves. You don't have to know their name. You don't, the small talk is exactly that. Sometimes it's a long talk on the porch, and sometimes it's just a wave and how are you today? How's the fishing? And you move on about your day.
Very simple living. I miss that part of it a lot.
Yeah. So we're down there in Kentucky. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? So as far as bait making, is that your full-time gig? You have another job that you support the family with. And do we have the kids, or is it just the dog?
No, I do have a daughter. Well, I refer to her as Little Tiny.
Okay.
But Mrs. Tiny don't like being called Mrs. Tiny, but I still do it anyways. But
you have to annoy them a little bit. That's how they know that you love them.
That's the one good thing that I'm blessed with, is she enjoys my sarcasm.
You gotta have that.
But yeah, I've got a regular, full-time job, about like everybody else.
Yep.
Really and truly, the bait making, the lure painting, it's a hobby that pays for a hobby. Sometimes I make a little bit more than I expect to, and pretty much it funds me going and fishing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've had a couple shows that's done really well, and it's paid for a fishing trip. Usually once a year I go down to Alabama, and not all of it comes from. I usually pay for my gas and my food out of the business account. But that's also from the TikTok shop affiliate stuff and everything else. But pretty much everything I make from bait making, it either goes back into the business or supporting, what we all love, our passion for fishing,
That's right. That's how we all got into this, right? We all started off fishing. I don't know many people, and maybe I can be proved wrong in future episodes. I don't know many people who plain and simple don't fish. Yeah. They just make baits, but they don't fish. I don't think I've ran across anybody. Now, I have ran across people who make bass lures, but they don't bass fish, right? And I'm sure there's walleye guys and so on and so forth that maybe don't fish for walleye. But so speaking of shows, you do the shows and things like that. You don't really get into the auctioning too much. You do the shows.
I did it whenever I first started. I did one time and on here, and somehow ended up with a big V, I'll call it. So I just kind of steered away from it on here, so to speak. I have done them in the past. What I did do for a long time was I would do a tackle tornado where I would go live, and I would just lay everything out that I had on the table and would offer a 3 for $25 on certain items and then full price on others. I've kind of gotten away from that since I've got the .com. I just put a post up because I'm trying to get back. The last year, pretty much, I missed out on a lot of fishing because I was constantly painting, trying to keep inventory up for shows and for those monthly sales.
Yeah.
And this year I tried to do something a little different, to where I'm not trying to hoard it up, but I'm also trying to not stay in here all day, every day after work and on the weekends, trying to keep up with painting and stuff. I want to get out. I want to fish as much as I can this year.
Absolutely.
Spend as much time on the water as I possibly can.
Absolutely. So there's a few things I want to talk about that don't have to do with bait making before we get started. And that's the fact, if you guys don't know, Tiny does his own podcast or his own podcast. I find myself replacing that podcast with podcast all the time now.
I do it a little bit, and mine ain't even named the podcast.
It's just catchy.
It is. And every Tuesday I try to tune in and watch it too. So. And
wow.
But yeah, I was like, the podcast. I was like, that's Corey's, the podcast.
But you do Real Talk with Tiny, and it's a little different than what we do here. It's a podcast nonetheless. But you base yours more on the fishing aspect of it. What lures do you use? Where's some of your places that you like to fish? Things like that. So don't forget, guys, go over and check him out. His varies. You have to watch for his posts, and there's reasons behind that. I mean, I say it all the time. I like to book up the podcast, but I also keep up with people because life changes and things happen. That's all there is to it. So, but you run that over there, and it's a spectacular show. I love to tune into it, and you have quite a few people that stand behind you on your show. I know they're not sponsors for you, but you like to call them something else. And
it's partners, like Casting Pool's in here.
Yep.
Casting Pool was probably one of the, I'm trying to think. I know it's been over 2 years that I've been acquainted with Jen and Nate. But like whenever I started the business in 2024, they were actually one of the first companies that I was buying and reselling from. So they're always support me. And Vincicor, Jake with the Vincicor, I think I've been carrying his products for about a year now. Really good dude. Anytime I need anything, I message him. It's not very long and I hear back from him. But you got LT Jigs, Hiya Bait Company, Charles Sassy. You got Bypass Bait and Tackle, local bait and tackle shop here in Kentucky. They're over in Flemingsburg. Backwoods Outfitters. They're in Lexington, Kentucky. The Cane Pole here in Richmond. Get Outside Kentucky is in Richmond and Berea. And I think he just opened up a place in Lexington, if I understood him right the other day.
wow.
And barbershop here in town. So very fortunate, man, to have a lot of great people and support,
You do. I remember when I was starting up and you were, for lack of a better way to put it, restarting yours. And we started talking, and the first time I watched yours, you said you'd like to thank a few people, and I'm like, by golly, how many guys does he got behind him? Which is great for you. It's great for them, and it's all about community and networking, and
It is.
that's how you do it.
It is. And, and that's the thing. That's a big part of my business mindset, man, is like I have that hometown upbringing.
Yeah.
I was used to doing, business with the mom and pop shops. We didn't even have a bait and tackle store. Like, luckily, a guy that owned it's like what do you want to call it? A little hardware store. He would carry, some hooks, wax worms, night crawlers, some inline spinners, stuff like that. But, that's my business model, is just doing business with small businesses,
Yeah, that's great. I know when I first started fishing, somebody showed me how to fish, and then after that, I just kind of took off on my own, and I continued fishing even after they were had moved on. And the only place I had to go was like Walmart or something. If they didn't have it, I couldn't have it. Internet was not what it is today. I couldn't just jump on the internet or TikTok and order all this stuff. You sat, you looked at a magazine, you might have a phone number on the magazine and be able to call them and place an order. But, I'm talking, I was 10 years old. I can't do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So if Walmart didn't offer it, I couldn't have it. So I started off with the old Shakespeare's and stuff like that. And, some of the names that I started off with are now a bigger brand name, Ugly Stick was in there, stuff like that. So it's kind of amazing how things have grown out of those little stores, and they're all over the place. Kids these days, I don't think know how good they have it when they want that certain rod or certain reel or certain lure. It's definitely at their fingertips.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, everywhere you turn now, you can either order it or get it, just about it.
Yeah, and that's something else that you do. You work with your podcast and with most everything you do is all about the kids at the end of the year. So you have a few companies that you're working with, and at the end of the year, there'll be a few special kids, and they're going to get quite a surprise. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it, like I said, we need more kids fishing than we do on PlayStations and Nintendos and everything else. And the one thing about it is it you know, growing up, me personally, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I didn't get everything I wanted. You know, we got what we needed. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's kids that want to go out and fish and they don't have the means to be able to get the stuff that they need or they want to get out there. I've done a couple of things like that, you know, here locally in the community and on TikTok. And, you know, they're like, hey, man, I'll post a picture. I'm like, no, I don't want none of that. I'm not looking for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
one, all I need to know is just if you can verify it with me that a kid is getting it, that's good enough for me. You know what I mean?
That's the way to be, man.
Yeah.
That is the way to be. Well, I'd like to get into some questions with you. Are you ready for some of these questions?
I'm ready as I can be, brother.
All right. So let's start with how did you get into painting to begin with?
Well, in the beginning, I was doing nothing but buying and reselling. And I started out in a barbershop down here in town. And Natalie, it was Nat's barbershop. Then she sold it to another fella. And that's the reason why it's called the barbershop instead of Nat's. But the N on TNN is Natalie. That's who gave me a chance in their business starting out. Like I told her, I was like, the N will stay on my business name as long as you want it there. You know, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have had my foot in the door somewhere. But a lot of the questions was, is any of this made locally? And the answer was no. So I was like, I used to, as a kid, as a hobby, I would put model cars together and I would airbrush them, you know, nothing to the details that go into fishing lures or anything like that. But I had the working knowledge of airbrush, you know, the air pressure,
Okay.
thickness of paint, you know, thinning it, cleaning it, you know, stuff like that. So I was like, heck with it. I'm just going to buy me a cheap airbrush and compressor like we all do, some cheap paint, see if I like it and give it a try. That's how I got into it. Now, if it hadn't been for people like Paul Tark and Fingerprint and 3D printed lures and me seeing all these, I didn't even know that was a thing until I got on TikTok.
I didn't either.
But I seen a lot of those guys. GTK was another one, Benster, you know, Barrett Bates. I'd sit back and I'd watch these guys and thought it was really cool, you know, watching them do it. But that's really what pushed me to do it. You know, like I'd never thought about doing it until that question was brought to my attention, you know.
So it was basically your hometown upbringing, and you were trying to buy and resell.
Yep.
And when you were asked the question, is any of this local? It's like, no, it's not. And that kind of just was like a light bulb. You're like, it should be local.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a lot of reasons that people get started, and they all vary, but that's the first time I heard. I just decided to do it one day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, that, you know, there was one company that did do custom painting, that I was buying their painting, like literally, I'd never even said, hey, I'm a dude. But whenever Natalie, people, you know, I said, well, no, I said, none of it's made here in Kentucky or even in Richmond. I was like, but it's all from U.S. small businesses.
Yeah.
You can tell them that, you know, it ain't, you know, from big brand, you know.
It means something to people.
Yeah, you're not going to get this stuff at Walmart, basically.
No.
I told her, but I was like, heck with it. I said, I'm going to get me an airbrush and some paint, some lures, and see how I like it. And I love it. Still love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy just the community itself. Sometimes I'm not even painting. I'm just hanging out in lives and talking to people and mainly being harassed, but
Hey, I mean, that's the thing, dude. It's that's what makes this fun is like you said, the community, the and the camaraderie, the friendships that you make along the
oh,
way. I would have never have thought in a million years that I would be doing anything like I'm doing now on
yeah.
here. Um, Very thankful that I got on here, and very thankful that I've met the folks that I have along the way too.
Yeah, as of right now, I think I could take about a 3 or 4 week vacation down south and fish with somebody different every day.
That's a
Um,
absolute fact.
you meet people from all over the U.S. Some become some of what I would consider my best friends. I
Yeah,
talk to them as much as I talk to anybody. Um, and it's nice to have people like that, and they care. When you're having a bad day, they're like, well, what's up? Let's jump on a live. Let's get you out of that bad mood.
yeah,
Sometimes I do, and other times I'm like, I'm just going to keep this mood to myself
yeah,
because it's not a good one.
yeah. I, uh, and that's what's crazy is like whenever I got on here, wasn't expect like there's been several times that I've just like I'm gonna take a break, not post anything for a day or so, and a handful of people reach out and be like, "Hey man, you doing all right? You ain't posted anything."
That's
And
really
like the first time that happened, I'm like, I don't even know this guy,
right.
and he's checking on me. You know what I mean? Like like if they don't tell you that there's still good people in the world, I don't know what will.
That's
Because I
right.
know everybody that's in this room is like minded or has probably had that happen to them on here. It was really mind blowing how much support and how much people are just genuine still.
Yep.
You don't get that a lot all the time, but on here it seems like you get it more often than not. And that's what's so awesome about it is the community.
It is. It is. I completely agree. I've never found anything like it. And I fished by myself for years. I never had a fishing partner, fishing buddy. Nobody wanted to fish as much as I did. I want to fish every day, all day. I only get so much of this summer to get out there and fish. So that's exactly what I do. And I was working somewhere, and the guy I was training, we just started talking fishing. He's, man, I love fishing. I'm like, yeah, you're like everybody else. You like fishing. He's like, no, I fish every day. And it was from there on. We've been fishing together 8, 9 years now.
That's cool.
So, um, so how long have you been painting?
A little bit over 2 years. I officially started the business in January of 2024. And I seen a memory the other day that was around May of 2024. So I think I started painting probably around March of 2024. If I had to
Okay.
do
So you've been at it a little while.
it.
It shows you do some good work, man. I hear it all the time. And people that I know personally started talking about you, and it was before me and you had even met and talked. And I started looking at some of your stuff, and you definitely have a way with the paint, and your baits look great. I actually have one now. I finally want to give away on your real talk. So it's out there. It's the 3.5. It's at that wake bait style, and that's right up my alley.
Oh yeah.
That's what I love to do. That top water bite.
That's it's literally that lure. I've got about 3 lures that I absolutely love painting, and that's one of them. I love it.
What makes you like to paint a lure? Is it size, shape? Is it takes the stencil well? What
It
makes you?
for me, see, I'm a big bass fisherman whenever it comes to creek fishing, because that's all I did growing up was smallmouth
Yep.
fishing in creeks. Um, so a lot of the profiles that I have are profiles that I would like to use personally while I'm creek fishing. Now I'm gonna try and start bass fishing more this year at the lake, but my confidence level for bass fishing is in the creeks.
Yeah.
But it has to do, I mean, like back home, like that wake bait that you won, it reminds me of like a big fat hog sucker,
Yep.
you
It
know,
does.
like that one. Like these right here, I've got it painted white. This right here is one of the, like if I'm creek fishing, this is the first lure that I'm tying on every time.
Oh,
Probably in a
wow.
money pattern or Alabama slammer.
I mean, it's a whole different world when you go from the more shallow with deeper pockets, creek style fishing, the rocks, the things like that, to lake style where you're looking for the laydowns, the lily pads, the weed lines, the points and drop offs, and things like that. I've done a little bit of the creek fishing when I was younger, and I'm okay at it. But I would have to say, if I went creek fishing with you tomorrow, I would be standing there looking at you like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Where are we putting these things?
And that's the thing, man. Like me and my brother, he had never floated the creek, and I had probably $100 worth of terminal tackle and at least 20 to 25 lures that I'd painted with me on my kayak. I got rough current, tipped over halfway through it. For the next 3.5 hours, I had 3 lures, all kinds of soft plastics, no terminal tackle to throw. So it basically went from a fishing trip to a floating trip. Broke my paddle, and that was the thing though, was like my brother, he literally, I mean, he ended up, he basically threw a rooster tail all day long.
Yeah. But he had a good time though.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, yeah. We had a blast, but getting all that up until then, it might have been God's way of just saying, "Hey, dude, you ain't gonna catch nothing today, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of help, make you enjoy your trip, make you lose all your stuff." But I mean, it's like you said, you go from those swifter currents and the rocks, deeper pockets, and there's different lures, and sometimes if I get in a deep spot, I'll drop shot.
Yeah.
In a creek, just like you would at a lake.
So what's some of the deeper spots that you would find? I mean, when we say deeper, hang on, I got a puzzle piece. I don't know why they give me these things.
It happens.
I don't understand it. Deeper, do you get into 8-10 feet
Yes.
deep pockets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back home, I know for sure, because we used to wade fish it. I mean, there was times like you get hung up in a tree and you would start wading, and I'm 6 foot tall, and would literally have to get your buddy to hold your pole, swim over to the bank, and get up on the bank to end up getting your lure out of the tree.
Yeah.
So there's some pretty deep holes back home.
That's nice though. I mean, and I think I would like to try that. And we've talked about wade fishing before. And my excuse, and I don't know if it's an excuse, but snakes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I usually see 1 or 2 every time I'm out, but I mean, for the most part, I've not had a bad experience with them, obviously yet. Most time they keep their distance, and I keep mine.
Yeah, I'm okay if they stay in the distance. And just talking about them, the hair raises up on my arms. I do not like them. And I'll tell you right now, anybody that's close to me, if one is close enough that it actually scares me, let's hope you're not in the way that I'm headed, because I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I can't do it. I do not like snakes. The way they swim in the water and everything else is it's just creepy. Thank you. It's just creepy.
Yeah.
let alone if they get in the boat. Somebody sent me a video the other day of I don't know if they sent it to me or if I came across it, and the snake was in the boat. And I thought, man, I might just go swim until somebody gets the snake out of the boat because I can't be that close to him. I can't do it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Stroud.
Well, let's get to a tougher question here. What kind of clear coat do you use?
I do use UV. I use Solar Res as the UV that I use.
Okay.
Solar Res Diamond.
Have you ever used anything else, or have you always been in UV?
That's all I've ever used is UV. I started out with Illuma UV. I don't know. I run into an issue late last year to where the baits weren't fully curing. They were getting sticky. And I was about ready to lose my mind because that was a lot of work that I'd lost. There wasn't no way I was going to send the lure out, put it in a box or anything like that. But did a little research, figured out, the UV lights could lose their power. Order new ones, tried it again on one lure, still the same thing. Hadn't changed anything that I was doing. So I don't know what the issue was, but reached out to a friend of mine and was like, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" They said yes. Asked a couple questions, got the setup, the newer lights for it. And as far as my knowledge, I've not had any issues with it. And good. I know that I've asked Pooh, Big Country, other people. Anytime I've even doing a show, I tell people, I'm like, look, take a picture of the banner. It's got all the ways you can get in contact with me on social media, or here's my email, here's a card. If you got any issues with them, reach out and let me know. In 2 years, I've only had the one issue, and the guy reached out and said lure wouldn't dive. And I said, well, which one was it? And I can either replace it or give you money back. Man, he just picked another lure out and went on his way, So I think Corey's.
We've all had that issue where you've had one customer, one lure, something like that. That was a little messed up. I know I had one I sent out. Now, the guy caught a ton of fish on this thing before he had an issue. And I think it ended up cracking the clear coat because half the paint was missing off the one side. And I didn't even question it. I said, well, I'll send you out another one. He said, that's not what I'm asking. He goes, as a matter of fact, I got pictures of fish I'm going to send you. He sent me the pictures. He caught a lot of fish that day. I think he said he caught over 30 fish on the one lure. But I ended up sending him another one anyway. I just painted up another one, almost the exact same style, and sent it right out to him. So I think that's the way to be. If somebody feels like they have an issue, definitely just take care of it. That's the kind of customer service you want to give them. You're not going to get that at a big box store.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So you had some trouble with your clear coat, and your fix was changing the lights as well as you switched clear coats.
Yep. And I bought another bottle of Illuma UV just for whenever I piqued my interest. I'm gonna try it again because I really did. I loved Illuma UV. It was my go-to. Loved it until I ran into. Like I said, it was 50 lures. Just poof. I was about crying, throwing them in the trash. I was like, and a few were custom orders. I was like, I can literally put another coat on it and try it. And they was like, we don't care, just send them.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
So that's not the only thing you do. You don't just paint baits. Do you do tying as well and stuff like that?
No, I don't. I give Soft Plastics a try there for a little bit. Bought a couple molds. I did like it, but it's not my thing. I enjoyed the mixing, coming up with stuff, colors. But it was just, I was like, I have no desire to continue doing this unless I have a shooting star, because it was just the continuous I'd pull it out, inject it, and then you'd have to throw it back in. I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, painting's a lot of work too, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I was like, it's right now, this just isn't time for me. I'm actually getting ready to melt down all my waste probably in a couple of weeks, run it through my molds, and I've already talked to a company. I'm sending my molds to them. They're going to use the molds and make them for me.
Yeah. I have kicked around the idea of trying to tie or something like that, but I've never thought about doing the plastics. I'd be honest, it just doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
And it's to try and do anything after painting. One thing you have to realize is it's another, what we like to call rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Once you get started in something else, it just continually putting more and more into that. So I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. So what's something you do? You ever get painter's block?
Absolutely.
And is there a certain remedy you have for it, or do you just walk away for a while?
I just walk away for a while. That's literally, whenever y'all were talking about the tournament, I was like, I'm getting in on that. I don't care if I don't catch a big one or not or whatever. It's just going to motivate me to get out of here and fish more. And that's exactly what I've done. But yeah, I mean, everyone hits a wall with whatever they're doing. Sometimes, and I either go fishing or there's sometimes, man, just getting out of the house in general. This is a spare bedroom that I've turned into my workshop, so to speak.
There you go.
It's, you got to get out of the office every once in a while, I guess is the best way I can put it.
You have to get out there and do what you love. And it was the fishing passion that got you into the bait making hobby, right? So I completely agree. There's times that I walk away. There's other times I start looking at pictures. There's other times I just get on a live and start BSing with everybody. And it's sometimes if you tell them, hey, I'm having painter's block, I don't even know what to do with this bait. And you show them on the live and they're like, try this color, do this, do that. And all of a sudden, they get you right out of that slump and right back into painting. So you hear it all the time. People are like, I'm just not in the mood to paint. They're sitting on the live. They're like, I wasn't in the mood to paint. I'm just here to hang out. And pretty soon they're like, well, now you've got me motivated to paint. I'm ready to go.
And that's a big thing too, though. I mean, like you said, I hadn't really thought of it, but yeah, there's been times that I've just been like, man, and you come across someone painting, you're like, man, I'm gonna go in there and paint. It's the same thing as going, you don't really feel like doing much of nothing, and your buddy calls like, hey, you wanna go fishing? Yeah, let's go.
And away you go. Anybody can call me. I'm ready to go fishing all the time.
Me too. Appreciate you, Purple.
Rust. Everybody's on me about my color orange. Of course, I'm wearing the color orange. Orange is my favorite color. I wasn't able to use orange. I was able to use orange, but somebody said, hey, you use orange all the time. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to use orange for a week. And I found a new color out of a different paint brand called Rust. And they're like, that's still orange. I'm like, no, it's rust color. It's like red. I think they're right. It's still orange, but I can't help it. It's one of my favorite colors.
North said I sent you your next boat.
What's that?
I said Northwater said I sent you your next boat.
Oh, he did. So Tracker's coming out with their new color for 2026 or 2027, I forget. But it's like a neon orange Tracker boat. And I'm like, they would do that. Now that I finally spent the money on a new Tracker, they're going to come out with the color I would have got orange. Trust me, because A, it's one of my favorite colors, but B, it's bright and everybody can see it.
Yeah.
I want people to see me out there. I don't want to be hidden.
Yeah.
Who, you know, this is the toughest question I ask. So, if you could choose one of your favorite painters of all time, it doesn't have to be on TikTok. Maybe it's somebody who helped inspire your way of painting. If you could choose somebody and say that's one of my favorite painters, who might that be?
I would probably have to say GTK.
Okay.
GTK. He's got a, I don't know how to really explain it. I don't know if it's Keith's, just overall attitude or his. I don't know. I mean, I've got a ton of GTK stuff. Me and him, we've talked quite a bit on the phone. I've typically every year I try to get a couple of people's stuff to take with me to shows. I don't ask for them for free. I buy them. And, this past year was GTK was one of them. I usually always get some of Fingerprints and Paul Tarks. Bass Junkie was another one that I got this year. But every year I try to grab, 4 to 5 different painters, to put in my customer appreciation giveaways. Just that a way that I can, I appreciate them supporting me. So that's my way of saying, hey, appreciate you, man, for your support. But anytime I've ever had a question, I've never got to sit on the live and paint with him. Never have asked him. But if I could sit down and just paint with someone, whether on here or in person, it'd probably be GTK.
Boy, you better paint fast. That guy's so full of energy.
He is.
I watch his live. He is just bouncing around that shop.
Yeah. He's good people too, man. He's good people.
Yeah, I've talked to him a few times in his live. I've never actually gotten like in the box and talked with him, but down from the chat. And what a great guy. He tries to answer everybody. And that's something I greatly appreciate when I'm in a live is, when you're asking questions, you're getting answers. But at the same time, you got to remember, it's not just you in there. You go into some of these lives and there's, 30, 40, 50, 60 people in there. You go over to some of the fishing lives and there's 300 people in there. So when you ask a question and you don't get a response, don't get too upset. I mean, that's got to be moving pretty fast. So,
and it's no different, from whenever you're painting or live fishing.
yeah,
it's honestly harder for me to respond to people whenever I'm fishing.
Yeah,
because I enjoy going live fishing, but man, that sun gets behind you and hits that phone just right. It's like, man, you can't even see anything.
You're busy. Like you said, whether you're in the booth painting or out there fishing while you're on a live. For me, I never go live when I'm actually fishing. One, I don't have any of the mounts I would need. The other is, I don't know. I just want to be out there and enjoy what I'm doing. I'll send pictures. If I catch a big fish, you bet somebody's getting a picture.
Oh yeah.
But I've never filmed it. But when I'm painting in the booth, that's when it seems like my live gets a lot of people in it and everybody's asking questions. And if there isn't somebody in there reading the chat out to me, I'm going to miss it. Yeah. I'm going to miss it. So we're going to give you just a little break, let you get yourself something to drink, take care of anything you need to take care of. Don't forget, guys, we are sponsored by Pretty Lure. Make sure you get over and check out Pretty Lure for all your bait making needs. Also, I decided I'm going to, I pro staff for Dead On Baits, which is C. Klein Fishing. I know you've seen him on here as well as C. Klein. But you can go over to Dead On Baits and you can get some of your stuff over there. As a matter of fact, when you go to Dead On Baits, if you click on blanks, it takes you right over to Pretty Lure. So they're partnered up as well. It's kind of like a whole full circle. But it was kind of nice when I teamed up with him. He actually puts a whole profile, my picture with a fish that I caught and gives you a link straight over here to the YT page for the Podcast, which is the Podcast 2025. Make sure you guys get over to the YT and check that out. Now, Tiny, you run your podcast, Real Talk with Tiny, and you not only do it here on TikTok, but you repost it as well. And where do you repost at?
I repost the podcast over on YT, Outdoors with Tiny there. And then also it's on Spotify under Real Talk with Tiny.
Under Real Talk with Tiny. I'm going to have to do that. I've seen it over on the YT, but I've never gone over to the Spotify. I actually, I haven't been listening to music much. After taking this new job, it's in a kind of a paint factory, so it's all explosive. You can't have anything in there. Not your cell phone, not anything, and they check. So, but I'm used to listening to music and stuff while I'm at work, and that would be one thing I would do 100% is jump on Spotify and definitely listen to those. Even though I've seen them, I would listen to them again. I've thought about going over to, I think iHeart lets you do it too.
Okay.
So, and I from the commercials that I've heard, it's free. It's not something that you have to have any kind of a membership or anything for. So
there's a way. I've not sit down. I need to sit down and figure it out, but I'm sure iHeart's on there too. I can let you know, but there's supposed to be a way that I can link up Apple Podcast to my Spotify account for them to post over on Apple as well. So that's something I'm going to look into. It's just not that important to me right now, I guess is the best way to put it, because I've not looked into it enough yet.
Yeah, I get my best responses and the most out of TikTok.
Yes.
Just doing it right here, doing it live. Lots of people tune in. And I don't do much reposting. I've noticed, a lot of people, including yourself, do clips. You'll take clips out of your podcast or whatever it is that you're doing, and you'll repost those. And I send them over to the YT, and that's kind of it. I guess if you didn't catch it while we were doing it, you don't get to see it unless you go over there.
Yeah, that was something that I knew I wanted to change. This go around with it was I wanted to have that little segment like that, the no time to retie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what a lot of people seem to enjoy. But that's the reason why I just always, because I have to download the live anyways, and then I use CapCut to edit and trim it out. That way I can convert it to audio to post. But I always, after I get done editing it, I just clip it out real quick and post it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how long ago was it that you did the other podcasts that you were part of?
It was last year. Me and Big Country Outdoors. We've done it. I would say probably from the beginning of the year. I'd say probably up until about late August, September, and then he needed to step away from TikTok for a little while. And like any friend, I was like, dude, I ain't mad at you. I was like, you got to take a break. You got to take a break. And I was like, everybody's got to take a break. So,
yes, you do. You can get burnt out on it just like anything else.
Absolutely.
There are days that this is all I want to do is be on the live with my friends and paint and do all that. And there's other days that I just lounge, watch TV or whatever it is I want to do. And sometimes it is paint. I paint better when I just do painting by myself, turn on some music and just paint. I find being on a live while painting to be quite distracting for me. It must be ADD or something. I don't know.
I'm Pooh and a couple of them's in here. I can tell you, I have a horrible memory. And like people will be, messages like, hey man, I want one of those, or I want, I'm like, message me, please.
Yes.
It was funny because Pooh, she was wanting something one time, and I was like, all right, I got you. And it was like a week later, she's like, did you paint that? And I was like, paint what? She's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "I'm serious as a heart attack." I was like, "I don't even know what you're talking about."
Well, there you have it, guys. If you want something from him, make sure you send him a message.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got a notebook. I got a notebook in here now. I keep out. I see it.
I'll tell you. Yep, I do the same thing with the podcast. I have so many notes, and then I do little cue cards and things like that right before the podcast gets started to make sure I've got everything written down. Because I'll forget. I'll get lost in conversation, and I'll completely forget to do something. So, what bait or color scheme would you like to see more of?
Me personally, pumpkin seed.
Pumpkin seed.
Pumpkin seed. That like my money pattern. That's my version of a pumpkin seed. I love it. That's like Baby Dave down here, Bambino Baits, and he hit me up from the Pretty Lures, live the post that I did, like, "Hey, all these are available." And he's like, "I got something you might want." He knows me. You know what I mean? Like me and Dave, we've known each other for a long time, and he sent me a picture, and I was like, "Sounds like a good trade to me." It was a pumpkin seed Glide.
Yeah.
Strouds was talking about him painting one night, and I was like, "You posted that yet?" And I was like, he said, "No." I said, "Well, send me some pictures." And as soon as he did, I was like, "I want that one."
I did the same thing. I did a bait trade with Strouds. He does a great pumpkin seed.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's my favorite pattern to paint, and it's also, I mean, like that pattern for me. Usually, if I'm going out and I know I'm gonna be using cranks, I've usually got that pattern on about 4 different profiles.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
It's just a good dirty and clear water lure, I think.
Pretty Lures agrees with you. He says, I can remember after I go to sleep.
It happens, man.
Oh my goodness. So what bait? Well, I think we kind of just answered this one, but what bait or color scheme do you fish the most? Is it the pumpkin seed?
It would be on the hard bait. It'd be the pumpkin seed.
Yeah.
The next one would be like Alabama Slammer, the pattern that you got, and the trout pattern that I paint. I like fishing crawls too. For the right. It just depends on where I'm at and the color of the water, and because I like bouncing the square bills and the rocks.
Yes.
With crawl patterns. Same thing with the wiggle warts. And even the PL strikers, I'm about to paint some crawl stuff up on those, and whenever I get in those deeper pockets, probably I'll start throwing that PL striker some too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So do you have a favorite airbrush that you like to use?
Me personally, it's the only brand other than the one that come with the compressors, the Badger 105 Patriot. I've got 2 of them. I run one with the fine detail and the other one just for blasting, the UVLS and the prime the lures with.
Just for the base coats?
Yeah.
And is there a certain brand of paint that you would rather use?
Man, I've got a little bit of everything. I've got Vallejo, I've got Model Air, Tretex, Golden. Me personally, I like the Golden, and I like the Vallejo, just because you don't have to thin it down and have to fool with it a whole lot. A lot of it pretty much comes ready to throw in the airbrush and run with it,
So let me ask you this. I don't even know if you have one close, but we like to call it the lobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they used to carry a lot of stuff, and I always get them mixed up. They either carried the Createx or Golden. I think they carried the Createx.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of all that. And now they have their own brand. Have you tried their brand of paint?
I've not tried it yet. I do have a Hobby Lobby here local. I think it was Dave was talking about that the other night. I've not had to go down and get anything in a while. But yeah, see, I used to get all my golden paint from Michaels, and they quit carrying it.
Yes.
And so, but no, I've not tried it. I probably will, just because I've got one less than 3 miles from the house.
Yep. Yep.
But I haven't yet.
I would recommend it. I've been talking about it quite a bit, and they're coming out with more and more stuff. Now they have their neons, but they had their basic and their weathering. And it comes in, you can buy it in a pack of 10, and it's like $7.99 for this stuff. And the pigment, the actual depth of that color is great. And I do not have to thin them down. They spray straight. Even in a 0.2, you just spray them straight out. But they have some unique colors. Rust being one of them. I know you've heard that tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But some of the colors that they've come out with, they look really good. They give the bait a different look. And to be honest with you, they're really good for doing... they have that olive in there. I use that to do my topwater frogs. And I like to make those frogs just as realistic as I can. And I think it comes the closest.
I got you. Thank you for all the gifts too.
But yeah, check those out. It's just called Airbrush. That's what it's called. That's what it is. They have no specific name, just Airbrush Basic, Weathering, and now they have the Neon, and I believe another one. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to go down there and check it out.
I would recommend it. So when you're fishing, I know we talk a lot about wading and creeks, and you were just talking about kayaking. So do you do more bank or boat fishing?
I would say probably here recently I've done more bank and kayak fishing, more so than on the pontoon. It's just the weather, and man, getting out on the pontoon, if we got wind gust here 20 or up, I might as well be on a kite. I'm telling you, man, the wind it'll throw that pontoon. It's 24-foot pontoon, so
Oh, that's a big one.
yeah, it's hard to control in big gusty winds.
Yeah.
But I really I do it all. I mean, it don't make a difference to me. It's just as long as I'm fishing. It's like there a long time ago. We were maybe still so, but you were seeing people kind of segregating. Yeah, the bank fishermen hanging out with the bank fishermen. The kayak fishermen was hanging out with the kayak, and the boat, and I'm like, man, I was like, we're all fishermen. I was like, it don't matter how you fish.
It
We're all
doesn't.
fishing.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. So we do a lot of both. So on your 24-foot pontoon, do you have trolling motor and stuff like that all set up and ready to go, huh?
Yeah,
Depth finders?
I do. I've got live scope on it. I've got the Garmin Force Pro 24-volt troller motor. I had whenever we decided we were going to buy a boat, I had a Harley Davidson at the time, so I was like, So I ended up selling my Harley to purchase the electronics that I've got on the boat. But
Yeah.
so I mean, but selling it was paid off. I really hadn't been using it much, and I was like, my wife was like, "Don't do it," and now I kind of regret it. But I was like, "Oh well." Had to have the live scope, and I do use it quite a bit for crappie fishing. But like I said, I'm getting ready to transition to bass fishing. I've really not ever seen bass suspended up and be like, I'm going to tie something on and throw at them. But I think that was honestly what the live scope was first come out for, was for crappie fishing. And then it transitioned, from what I've heard, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but transitioned over.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have a big pontoon like that, and I couldn't imagine how you got to have a good sized trolling motor, or you wouldn't move that thing very well at all.
Surprisingly, man, and that was the reason why I went with Garmin. I'd had some other Garmin devices. I love their customer service. Never had any issues ever. Anytime I called, if there was an issue, they took care of it. So I knew whenever I got a boat, I was going to go with Garmin.
Yeah.
But for a 24-foot pontoon, if I'm running the trolling motor wide open, I can usually run about 3.5, 4 miles per hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it pulls it good. It's got spot lock on it. You know,
Yep.
that was another reason why I got it. But it pulls the tune pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking with a buddy of mine, Bass Cat,
Mhm.
and he said he doesn't use spot lock. He doesn't care to. He likes to use the talons, and he's not wrong. Anybody who has spot lock knows this is true. You know, it's great when it's calm out. You spot lock, keeps you right there. But if that wind is blowing at you at 8 miles an hour, you can spot lock, and that it's going to keep you in that spot, but it's going to point nose right into the wind.
Yep.
So with the talon, of course, you could throw that talon down, and it's going to keep you right there.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate the gifts. So he really brought that to my attention because the guy I fish with, Dan, had mentioned getting it, and I was like, man, that thing wouldn't even fit in my garage. They stick up too far.
Yeah.
Well, they make them to where they fold down, and so we're considering it. Live scope's in the future. Live scope is not a cheap thing to get into. So
I will give you anybody in here a piece of advice. If you're going to get it, wait until out of season. They run some pretty good sales on them. That's what I did. I got a really good deal for both of my screens, which I've got regular, clear view at the captain's, with the helm there.
Yep.
But I got my trolling motor, the live scope, both of my screens, both transducers for right at 5,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was because they were running great. I'm telling you.
You installed it yourself, right?
No, I didn't install it myself. See, we went down to the paperwork on the boat. I'd already sold the motorcycle before we went.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that money sitting there. So once we decided on a boat, I knew what I was going to need. I literally ordered it, and I went to the store, paid for it, and had them ship it to the dealer.
Gotcha.
So I had the dealer actually install everything for me.
Yeah. Yep. It's not a bad deal. I tell you what, when you get into doing the electronics on a boat, it can get a little in depth.
It was a brand new boat, and I was like, I'm not going to drill holes in it myself. I was like, because I'd been saving for a while, so it would have been cheaper to do it myself, but I've not done a lot of electrical wiring anyways. I was like, I'm sure I could get a diploma from YouTube University and do it, but
you can. Yeah.
I said, I'll just let them take care of it. They do this every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. So as far as PBs and fish, what's your personal best when it comes to a bass?
I will be honest with you. I have never weighed a bass until this year.
Really?
Because typically I was always wade fishing. So that was one less thing that I had to keep up with.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, probably 2 pound on a smallmouth.
Okay.
I know length, it was right at 15 inches, but it was fat. And it was literally, that was in the days, that was probably, if I had to guess, probably 10 or so years ago. Me and my buddy just randomly went wade fishing one day, and it was literally probably the third or fourth cast, and I thought I was hung at first, and then drag started peeling. I was like, no, I ain't hung. And it was on rooster tail,
Them smallmouth get it. They do not mess around. So what is the biggest fish that you've ever caught?
I know for a fact I've caught a 40-pound catfish.
Oh my goodness.
That was down at my uncle's at the lake.
That took a few minutes.
It was, I'm telling you, I was probably 17, 18 year old, still young, but it was a lot of fun. Striped bass probably be the next heaviest. I fought a striped bass in high school on my buddy's parents' boats. I think it was about 28, 29 inches, and it literally walked me around the boat, the pontoon, 3 times. And by the time I got done, my forearm was cramped and everything. I mean, I literally felt like I was deep sea fishing or something.
You almost needed to tag out on that one, let somebody else crank for a little while, huh?
It was an experience. It was an experience for sure.
Well, we definitely had a slew of questions for you. Don't forget, guys, at the end of the interview, I will open up the chat and you can ask him some questions that maybe you want the answers to. Maybe I skipped over them. But I like to ask this question at the very end. And my question to you is there a piece of advice that you would like to share with new painters, or maybe some life advice that was given to you that you still carry with you?
I mean, be patient, a lot of people that I've seen in the past, you see people pop up, do it, and then they just disappear.
Yep.
I've been on here, I guess, in the bait and fishing community a little over 2 years, and you'll see people take off, and then you just never see them or hear from them again.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. But be patient getting started. It's a lot of money getting started. You're going to get aggravated, but there's a lot of people on here that's willing to help you. And it's obvious the ones that will. Don't ever be afraid to reach out to someone, ask for help. Whether it's personal life or in the bait making world, there's a lot of people on here that'll support you and have you back, let you vent.
Yep.
And don't be afraid, man, to approach businesses. If you go to a bait shop and they're like, no, we're not interested, well, that ain't the end of the road for you. Approach an already established business, like I started mine in my friend's barbershop. And that's my plan, is to continue to grow my business as the years continue, as long as I'm able to do it, is hitting already established businesses up. I don't care to tell y'all that's in here, they get a small portion of commission on the sales. There's no upfront cost, anything that I put in their store. Some people may disagree with that, but if they've already spent all their money building their business, is the way I explained it to people that are, in my circle. And I'm like, it's, you can't expect someone that spent, $40,000, $50,000 building a business to hand you $2 or $3 grand for something that they don't know it's going to sell or not. So it's on consignment, and it helps them. It helps get your name out, and it helps get the other companies that it's real funny. I started out as promotional staff for a lot of the companies that I'm carrying still now. But it also helps them grow too. I get people all the time up at the cane pole and even at the barbershop, like, hey, can they do these colors? I'm like, dude, just here, give them my phone number. If they want a color, holler at me. They can either order it direct from them, or I can order it for them, whichever way they want to do it.
Well, now you've taken custom bait making to these companies that are presenting your baits. So if they have somebody come in that says, hey, I only fish this bait in this color, can you do it for me? And all of a sudden, they're walking into your everyday bait store. I guess I say every day, but it just depends on where it's at. And they're getting custom lures. I mean, you can't do that a whole lot of places.
Well, it's like 2 weeks ago, there was a guy hit me up, and he was like, hey, can you get any Redbug Senkos? I was like, well, yeah. He was like, Yum doesn't make Redbug Senkos anymore. And I was like, how many packs you want? He told me. And I hit Jen up with Casting Pool. I was like, hey, make me 10 bags of Redbug Senkos up on that order I got going on with you. And she made them up, went ahead and sent them to me, and he's got them, So
there you go. there's a lot of those colors out there that are discontinued, and I know a lot of guys that jump on something like that, and they have to color match this. It's not like they have that exact color just laying around. Okay, I'll shoot you 10 bags of that.
Oh yeah.
They have to put some thought into it, and they have to reference pictures and colors and get it figured out. So there is a lot of work that goes into it. And when we say custom baits, that stands for everything everybody does when it, from the fly tying and jig making and spinner baits and buzz baits to the plastics and the paints that we put on all these hard baits. I've had it happen many times where people send me a picture and they go, they don't make this no more. I need it in this color. And I have to sit there and color match it and send pictures to them, spraying it on spoons or whatever I'm going to do until I get it right for them.
Yeah.
And then comes the harder part of, they want it on this one specific bait, and maybe I only have one of those because I'm not a very big business.
Oh yeah.
And I have to get it right the first time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And and like you said though, that was actually what I told a lot of people I said, this is a different experience as a fisherman. I said, I'm here in Kentucky and I could be hanging out with someone in Wisconsin walleye fishing. I've never been walleye fishing a day in my life,
Yeah.
but I get on here sturgeon fishing. Those guys out in Idaho, I watch them sturgeon fish all the time. It's a cool experience.
It is amazing. And you get a lot of these guys that once you get to know them, they're inviting you out to do exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a few guys that have invited me to fish, and I've got to make it happen. I got to get out there. You can't always wait till tomorrow. Sometimes you have to do those things right now. I know my parents are getting up in age, and they always wanted to travel. So they bought themselves the camper and all that stuff, and now they just kind of sit around on the front porch and drink coffee and talk about how they should have traveled. So get out there and do what you want to do. Don't wait till tomorrow.
That's an absolute fact.
What do you say? You want to get to some giveaways?
Absolutely. Everybody's ready for that.
Well, we always do Pretty Lures giveaway first. Pretty Lures does a $25 gift code. If you guys are in here, make sure you have commented or liked the live. If you haven't done that, you don't have a number beside your name, and you cannot be part of the giveaways. We also have a waffle that went on. She is all set up and ready for that. And if Tiny don't mind, when it comes to that, we are going to bring her up and let her do her elimination wheel. Absolutely. And Tiny himself is also going to do a giveaway for us. So we will start with Pretty Lures. I usually do a wheel, but I wanted Pretty Lures to pick a number for me. And they have picked a number. It is right here. Hopefully you can see that. Number 12. So I have not looked at anything. If I go up here and I start scanning through and I'm looking for number 12, and number 12 just happens to be Woods. Mr. Woods, you are the winner of the Pretty Lure giveaway.
Congratulations. Woods said rig too. Did you rig it, Woods?
Why are you saying rigged? That is a common thing here on the podcast. Every time I get ready to do the giveaway, they say rigged before I even say who it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying rigged, and he's the one who won it. The next one we want to do, so that one was from Pretty Lures. Now, look, every time I do these Pretty Lure ones, if you're a bait maker, you can go over there and they will give you a gift code to their website, and you can do up to $25 worth of stuff from them, and they'll send it over to you. If you're not a bait maker, you can have Barrett, who is part of Pretty Lure, one of the owners of Pretty Lure, and he'll make you a custom bait. However, we're going to move on to Tiny's giveaway. Now, I'm going to let him explain this. He hasn't shown or told me much about it. I know we already have a number picked out. We talked about it before we even started this, but I'll let him explain what he's doing tonight.
So what you'll be getting from me, whoever wins, will be the Outdoors with Tiny's tackle box, ultimate tackle box. What comes in it is what you're guaranteed is 5 bags of plastics, 4 hard painted baits, and then 2 extras. Just the 5 bags of plastics is guaranteed, the 4 hard baits is guaranteed, and then you never know what you're getting. It's a mystery style box for single purchase or subscribing if you're interested. But like I said, that's what you're guaranteed in it. The other 2 items are bait related. So
very nice. I kind of like that.
Away tonight.
I kind of like the way you do that. There's other things in there, you just don't know what they are yet. So we did a predetermined number with him as well. Like I said, make sure you guys are liking or at least commenting so that you can be part of this. And we have a number from Tiny. It is right there, number 17. So if we go up, we click on the numbers and we go all the way down to number 17, none other than Northwaters Tackle.
Everybody is going to say it's intrigued. He's my teammate.
I know they're going to say, I knew as soon as I see that name, Northwaters.
Congratulations, man.
Are the winner.
He says, oh, man. Rigged. Everybody saying rigged.
I know they are now. I ain't even got to look at the chat.
Yeah, man. Just send me info and I'll get it out to you.
So I say it every time I see that somebody who has won and they win quite a few times. There are some lucky people out there, and those people need to go get them a lotto ticket today because what's that?
I said, whenever I first got on here, man, I struck a lick. I was winning all the time.
I am not that lucky person. I win once in a great while. I do not win very often, but we've got other people. Northwaters, of course, is one of them that you get to see his name quite often. But there's other ones. There's been a few people who have won 2 or 3 times on here on the podcast, and it's randomized.
Yeah,
it is completely random. It just so happens they're lucky.
Yeah,
so,
man. Well, congratulations, North. I appreciate everybody that's hung out in here tonight and sent gifts and everything too. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Don't forget, next guest, which will be next Tuesday, is going to be Calvary Custom Tackle. If you don't know who he is, make sure you tune in and we'll get to know a lot more about him. We still have one more thing to do, and then we're going to open up the chat and let you guys ask him some questions. Let me tell you, lotto tickets are not working for me.
Thank you, Walla guy.
So if you don't mind, we're going to bring Holly up. She's going to do her own little thing here, give you a little break. If you need the restroom or whatever it might be, more than welcome.
You're all good. I appreciate it. I'm interested to see if I get this lure.
Uh-huh. Let me invite her up, accept. And I'm actually going to put her over in the big box.
There we go.
Here we go. So all the spots got taken up pretty quick, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Thank you, everyone who got spots tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody
Thank you,
supporting
Tiny, for letting us do this waffle to help celebrate, the 25th episode.
You're perfectly fine. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little bit jealous if I don't think it. I'll just have to hit you up.
All right, so I did put all the names in. There were a couple people that did get more than one spot in. So for that, I just did, a 1 and a 2 after your name. I believe this one is set up to, I can just hit the remove button. It'll be last man standing, wins it. So just to make sure that names aren't by each other on the wheel, I'm just going to hit shuffle once. And it kind of just does its thing. Oh.
Scratching that sale.
No, it didn't scratch. Here, we'll just move them out of the way for right now.
There we go.
So, Jose number 1. Well, Jose has 2 spots in there, so maybe his other one will stay in.
Tiny says, I'm still in.
We can even up the music of it, Oh, Pooh got knocked out.
Jose said, ouch.
Like I said, he still had 1. Oh. Critters number 2 spot.
Critters had a couple in there too.
Well, I mean, depends on if you want to call it as the household. Technically, then they had a couple.
No. If Allie wins, she ain't letting him touch
Back-to-back
that.
critters.
Oh.
Well, Allie's just happy then, right? That means that she's got more chances.
Right?
Tiny looking even happier over there.
Oh.
I feel sorry for everybody. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just trying to play the Grinch over here.
Chewy got knocked out a spot. He still has 1 in.
What's up, JG's?
Gonna keep going. Nope. Allie got a spot out. I think it's kind of sad. It congratulates you for getting knocked out.
I know, I see that.
Oh!
Man, that's wild how that happens.
It got them back to back.
I'm going to say it. Rigged. Oh. Allie said rigged.
Okay, 2 spot. So. Well, we still got, a couple of them in there. Oh, spider monkey.
Oh.
Well, we still have 2 that have 2 in there as well.
You got to be able to change the ending to, oh.
Yeah. Ren. So we got Strouds, Darkside, Jose, and Tinyan.
Man, that was close.
Just knocked him out.
Here's where I go.
No.
Jose.
Oh.
So for those of you who don't remember, Uncle Corey did do a waffle a while ago. JM put one up. Oh, Tiny. And it was none other than myself and Strouds in the last 2 spots.
Yep.
So we got Strouds as one of the last spots here, battling
Strouds
against
and
Tiny.
who?
Strouds and Tiny.
Oh my Jesus Christ! I can't believe I won.
No. No
I can't
way.
believe I won.
There's your winner.
Hey,
Miss-
it's awesome.
Mr. Tiny.
This is rigged.
This is rigged.
And
You
then,
can't say it if you're the winner.
I'm gonna just one quick second here. This was not something that was scripted because otherwise Corey would know about it. So there was a bait that I painted a while ago. Someone had an idea on a bait. We look at baits that other people do and we see them and we're like, ooh, I'm going to do something like that. I had the idea and I was like, I want to try that. I reached out to Uncle Corey. I asked him if I could attempt at this bait, and he said, yeah, go ahead and do it. So those of you guys may have seen it. There's this wooden bait here.
Yes.
I've been holding on to it for a while, and I wanted to give it to Uncle Corey on a special day, and I think this episode, 25th, you've done a lot to have this podcast going, and it's your way of kind of showing support back to us who are makers. Whether it is having us on here, we're watching and learning about other makers. So I just wanted to thank you for all you've done so far and many episodes to come. So this will be coming your way, Uncle Corey.
Oh, I can't wait. That thing is amazing. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
And how amazing that the guest of the night wins. That is awesome.
I shouldn't have said anything because I normally don't win. I'm glad I won tonight, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I tell you, I was in one. You do your giveaways before, you send the gift and then you do the wheel as well. And I was in that for the longest time, and it would come down to where I was still in it, and it would knock me out right at the end every single time. So
Lauren says, "Well,
thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know everybody else appreciates you, and they appreciate your artwork. That is for sure. And that bait right there is an amazing bait. I'm surprised she still has it. I don't think she's put it up for anybody to grab yet. So, and the bait you got is an amazing bait as well. I can't wait for you to get that in your hands. She actually sent me personal pictures of it and had it outside holding it up in the sunlight and stuff like that. And you can see right through the tail of that thing.
that's cool."
And I know we all say it is that pictures do not do some of these baits justice. They don't do any of the baits justice. If you like it on camera, you're going to like it 10 times full in person.
That's a fact.
The details just come right out of there. So we had some winners tonight. The winner of Tiny's giveaway was North Waters Tackle. The winner of Pretty Lures giveaway was Woods. And believe it or not, the winner of the waffle tonight is none other than Tiny himself. He hung in there. I think it was the hand rub.
It must have been. It was
That's
me
your
being
lucky
greedy.
little thing.
I won't lie. I'm glad I won that one.
Stroud says rigged, and double rigged. All right, guys, you know what the next part of the show is. The next part of the show is we open up the chat. You guys can ask him the questions that you'd like to know the answers to. I'll give you a second to start getting those typed in. And if you can, be patient with me. If a lot of questions come through all at once, I try to get to them all. If I happen to miss your question, don't be afraid to type it in again and say, hey, you missed me. I will try and get to all of them. So, C. Klein, how's it going tonight, brother? No, it hasn't hit an auction. Good. But yeah, what a great interview with Tiny. And
Appreciate it.
guys, don't forget to go check out his podcast.
I appreciate it.
And here at some point, I believe that's where I will end up, is on his podcast, and let him ask me some of the questions and see how that goes. We've yet to kind of hash out all the details on that, but
Yeah, you'll definitely be on it, and it'll probably be sooner than later.
sooner than later. Now, some of the reason you change yours back and forth is due to your work schedule,
Mhm.
and some is due to other guests that you have on there.
Yeah, pretty much. I try to look like the next one I'll be doing is on the 31st. It'll be with Alabama Fishing, and pretty much after I do his, I'll reach out. I only do it twice a month, and the reason for that is just life gets crazy, especially with the youngin' in school and sports, stuff like that. But I usually I send them at the same time. I'll say, let me know which one of these dates work for you. It's a Sunday or Monday and a Wednesday. So I actually let them pick which, you know what I mean, which day is best for their schedule, and then I'll just work around it.
There you go.
But it you know, I've only had one hiccup, and that was with 865 Creek Angling. He can't help that. He had to stay over late both times. So, well, I didn't know that, Pooh. Hope y'all stay safe.
So Killjoy has a question. He says, did you start out with the intention of making lures for yourself, or did you always plan to sell them?
I did plan to sell them. Basically, I was already buying and reselling from other bait makers. And with the question, is any of this? I didn't start selling immediately though. If there's folks that are in here that was following me then closely, I've done a ton of giveaways. I would say I probably give away 150, 200 lures out the gate. And that was just me trying to gauge and build my confidence. And one, I do quite a bit of giveaways. I do giveaways on my podcast every once in a while. I'll do the follow, like, share, tag two people giveaways just to give back. And the thing about those it's just not to help me grow as a content creator or a business, but at the end of the day, even like in these podcasts and these lives, if you're sitting in here hanging out and you're new and you see people interacting in the chat, I guarantee you if you hit the follow button, they're probably going to follow you back if your page looks real,
Yep.
And that's another thing, like if you see that like, follow, share giveaway, you're probably going to be able to look down there in the comments and you're going to see fishing this or bass this or walleye this, and you're going to find people in those comments, in those like, follow, share giveaways to help yourself grow and meet new people too. So it's, but yeah, my plan was always to sell, but I didn't want to sell until I felt the time was right.
Yes, sir. Sim Tails and Tackles says, who gave you the best surprise in an order you have purchased?
That would be Sims. That would be Sims. I've got the hard baits to go along with it. I've not got one painted up, but I'm going to get one painted up. I call it the love plug. We'll leave it at that. I call it the love plug, but I got some little love plugs from Sims. Wasn't expecting that, and I got a good laugh out of it for sure.
I think everybody knows by now. I call it glitter for the trash man because I don't keep those things.
Well, they'll probably end up in the office Christmas party. We do like a white elephant.
There you go.
Do at Christmas time, so I'll probably just drop those in the bag.
A little surprise for you. Little surprise.
Little swimmers.
So a lot of questions aren't coming through, but I always save a couple for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And Northwater's Tackle usually throws this question up in here. But if you could sit down and paint with anybody, any painter of your choosing, who might that be?
If I could sit down and paint with them,
Yeah.
at GTK.
It would be GTK.
Yeah, it would be GTK.
Okay. Good show tonight. Congrats, Tiny, on the win. You deserve it, man. From Stroud.
I appreciate it, Strouds.
We always talk about it. It would be, you have all these, airsoft and paintball parks, and people all go meet up, and we all meet up to go fishing sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to meet up with a bunch of people and paint.
That would be cool. That's I don't know if you remembered or not. We were talking about that in here one night. I started putting hashtag Pretty Lures Cruise.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Bunch of painters, bunch of fishermen on a boat together. We'd all be getting in trouble trying to fish off the back of it.
That's probably what would happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what would happen. But I think we have had a great show tonight.
I appreciate
I
it.
do appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy man. You run all your own stuff as well. So, appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you pulled out a win tonight. That was actually pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird to be able to, yeah, we would need a big boat pretty good.
A big boat.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you. And like Ollie was saying earlier, I appreciate what you're doing too for all of us. It's a lot of fun. I've met several new people, from hanging out in here and listening, and I've learned a lot too. So that's what it's all about, is the community, learning, helping one another, and just having fun, man.
It is, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, it's you do the same thing, and I've came over to yours, and I've met a lot of people. Anytime somebody jumps into one of these things, maybe you don't know anybody, maybe you know everybody, but there's always somebody new. And sending out those follows and just following somebody new from somewhere else where you haven't been before leads to more and more people.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game when we get on here. The whole reason you got on here to begin with was to meet new people. So don't be afraid to go over and check out something else. Venture out there, get out of the normal lives that you're usually in, and go find something else. And don't forget to go check out Tiny. Make sure you're watching for his posts. He does his podcast either on a Monday, Sunday, a Monday, or a Wednesday. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it usually, for the most part, it's typically on a Sunday. It's usually a day that a lot of people doesn't have a lot going on. So pretty consistently it's been on Sundays. Every once in a while we'll have that Monday show or whatever, but like I said, I've not got a post up yet, but the next one will be this Sunday coming up at 8:00. And I do something at the beginning called the tackle grab, kind of similar to what we've done tonight, but it's with TikTok gifts, and all the gifts that I acquire during the podcast is going towards those giveaways at the end of the year for kids fishing gear.
Yep. Perfect. Well, I will definitely be there. I'll guarantee you that. I'm the old man of the bunch. I have trouble staying up past about 9 o'clock. I'll tell you.
I'm a night owl by heart, but here recently, thankfully, I'm usually laying down and go to bed about 11 now. It used to be 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no. I'll tell you what, if I stay up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've done it with the lives a few times, I wake up and I feel like I'm back in my 20s, and I went drinking for about 24 hours and just woke up. I feel like crap.
It can happen, man. Here recently, that's the reason why I've tried to venture to try to get into bed a little bit early, because I just can't do it. Used to, man, I could operate on 3-4 hours of sleep, but I just can't. For some reason, I can't do it anymore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, once again, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all you do for the Fish Talk community. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon, whether it's on this one or yours.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you all very much for tuning in. That will be the end of the podcast. Make sure and go and follow Tiny. If you don't follow Tiny, send him a follow. You will meet lots of new people over there. If you're new in the podcast community, make sure you send me a follow, and some of the other people you've seen in the chat. Get over to the YT page. Tiny has his YT page where you can see some of his previous stuff. And we also have one called The Podcast 2025. You can see all previous episodes over there. That is episode 25 in the books. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, buddy.
No problem, buddy. I sure greatly appreciate you, and thank each and every one of y'all for being in here and all the support.
All right. We'll see y'all soon.
See you, bro.